You're now listening to Wealthy Sisters Radio Show. You're now listening to Wealthy Sisters with Deborah Honoree.
Well, hello, and welcome to Wealthy Sisters Radio with a View. As always, you know, we are super excited to host this awesome show. And the reason why I call it awesome is because we have a twofold purpose. And you know that first purpose is to make sure that we provide inspiration, encouragement, and practical knowledge to you, our phenomenal listeners. You know, especially today, we want to make sure that you know that when you see perfect examples, let me just not say perfect examples. Let me say when you see great examples, right, that you too can do the same thing. And the second purpose here at Wealthy Sisters Radio with a View is to make sure that we provide the platform to showcase, highlight, and edify and say thank you to the sisters for doing big things. And you know we mean our brothers too. And I'm telling you, today's show is not going to be any different. It's going to be phenomenal because, again, I have the privilege to introduce to you, maybe to some, because I'm telling you, she and her husband has created this amazing restaurant that's known worldwide now. I'm telling you, before that there was a vegan craze, before everybody knew about these other vegan places, they were on the block. Trust me when I tell you that. And we're going to talk about the history of that today and many, many, many more things that she's involved in. She's none other than serial entrepreneur, restaurateur, my beautiful friend, Miss Naijha Wright-Brown. Welcome to Wealthy Sisters.
How are you?
Girlfriend, I am great. I am excited to have you on our show today. I think this is your first time being on the show, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
since I've seen you.
I'm telling you, you know, we've been around a little while, and we actually, for those of you who do not know, we took a little hiatus, but thrilled to be back. Really, because everybody kept contacting me. You know, a lot of people still listening to the episodes from 7 years straight that we did, and I'm telling you, sis, so we had to come back when I saw it's definitely important to continue to showcase individuals like yourself.
Well, that's a good problem to have, that folks were still reaching out to you, Deborah, so that's excellent. I'm glad you're back.
Definitely so. Well, before we get into all that we're going to talk about today, because that time goes by fast, what I'd love for you to do is, if you don't mind, just sharing a little bit about your background. You know, we like to say, what were those incredible ingredients that went into this awesome recipe that we see in you today?
Well, Deborah, I am a native New Yorker. I grew up in a New York City housing project in the South Bronx. So native New Yorker, and came down to Maryland in 2005 through job relocation. And now I'm here. I don't know. I mean,
now you are here, but you know, you're skipping some things, and that's okay. If you don't mind, I'm going to share what I know. Well, you know, we were just talking before we started the show about our back down memory lane. If I could sing, I think I could sing in my head. I heard Minnie Riperton in my head, you know, but anyway, back down that memory lane, we were talking about when you and your husband had a vision about what you were going to do today with the Land of Kush, that phenomenal restaurant that's known worldwide now. And I remember when you guys were talking about it, I remember when you found the location where people were saying, I don't know why you should put the restaurant over here, over there. And now look, it's been, you said, since 2011, and look at where you are today. So if you could speak to, you know, the vision, because I remember before you all were married, he was your fiance. You were still working at Verizon.
Now you're refreshing my memory.
Yeah, girl. And now I'm like, wow, Look at God and look at how important it is to have a vision and to stay focused. And that's what I'd love for you to share about as we talk about creating a lucrative business,
Right.
you know, in the vegan industry. But you definitely know how to do that. But the power of vision and the power of staying consistent and focused with your dreams.
Well, Deborah, now I'm going to talk about the background. So, being a native New Yorker, I spent 23 years in New York. I started working at the age 14 because coming from a single parent home, I had a younger sister living with my mother, and we were broke. So, at age 14, I was lying about my age so I can work anywhere just to make money. So, my first job was in retail. And it just opened my eyes to the benefit of earning your own and being responsible. And my mother would always say, I was so responsible for my age at the age of 14. And so I was always motivated to make money. And then I started getting exposed to entrepreneurs as I got a little older, at age 18, 19. I started selling new skin products. The multi-level marketing, marketing boom. Everyone was into multi-level marketing. So I started selling new skin products, but I was doing it differently. I wasn't just selling the retail products. I was putting products up on consignment. So I was taking, my money, buying a lot of product and putting it on consignment in salons and actually doing facial demos, and that's how I was selling the products. So I'm just giving you the background of the
Now, how old were
spirit.
you when you were doing
19.
that?
I was 19.
Something?
I was
Isn't
19.
Something? Did you know you were an entrepreneur? Did you know that word when you were 19?
No, when I started getting exposed to people and going to entrepreneur groups, like the first weekend conference I went to was Les Brown's. He brought people from all across the country. Les Brown has been motivationally speaking for decades. So that was the first weekend conference I actually went to, and I was at the age of 20, 21, something just really young in my early 20s. And that's when I really got exposed to a lot of people that were doing entrepreneurial things across the country, across the world. I mean, you had some people that were in there globally, Canada, in different countries. So it really opened my eyes. And then the exposure for an inner city child to be exposed to, a diverse audience of people, young, middle-aged, and old, just doing their thing in business really inspired me to keep that fire burning. So I got into entertainment, was producing comedy and talent shows, things like that. Always getting into something entrepreneurial. I spent 10 years in New Jersey, still doing club promoting and comedy show production. And then in 2020, 9/11 happened, because I always had 3 jobs or 3 shifts, 9 to 5, 6 to 12 midnight, and on the weekend. So I was always working and making money. So 9/11 happened, and that impacted a lot of jobs on Wall Street, because I was working on Park Avenue, and in the Wall Street area, I was floating around helping junior analysts at investment banks and private banking institutions. So after that happened, I had to, I was laid off. So you know what happens, we just went through a pandemic. So you know what happens when you get laid off. Now you're trying to find another job. It was taking a long time for me to find a job that was making the type of money I was making at that age. I was making a lot of money for my age. And I had to land on Verizon Wireless at that time. And I remember kicking and screaming and telling my mom, I can't do this job because I have to pay my car note, and I have to pay insurance, and I have student loans, and now I have an apartment, and I had, and I was really bawling to the point that, I had some thoughts in my mind, like, maybe I should just get this over with, because this is just depressing. But my mother told me to stick it out, that this job was going to take me places, just take one day at a time. And that's what I did. So from 2002 to 2005, I was still in New Jersey. And then the company was closing down the call center I was working in. And we had 3 options. You could either go to Wilmington, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, and then this question location that nobody knew about yet. We didn't know where we was going to go. That was a question.
So that's dangerous.
Exactly. I went to visit Charleston, and it's cute, historical, but Charleston wasn't my thing. I went down there with friends who were getting brand new houses built. I could afford to get a house built. I could afford, whatever I needed to do down there. But I said, this is not me. I don't feel the energy. And then Wilmington, North Carolina, beach town, college town, that really wasn't my thing either. So I waited a year. I got promoted, and then I waited a year while this question location was going to come up. And then when it came up, they said, well, the next one is going to be Maryland. And I said, I could do Maryland. Like, it wasn't even I said, I could do Maryland. It's not far from, New York. It's not far from New Jersey. I can do Maryland. So I came down to Maryland in 2005, and I got a physical, and my cholesterol was too high. And I couldn't believe it. What? I was devastated because I used to work out.
Get your copy today.
And do a lot of working out. And I was so surprised that my cholesterol was high. And I was told if I didn't do anything about it, that I would be put on meds. And I was 33 at the time. And I don't take meds. I'm holistic.
Yeah.
So a year later, this gentleman comes into the company and becomes part of the management team that I just got promoted to. And this gentleman's name would be Gregory Brown. And Gregory Brown,
this gentleman,
was this unique being eating, awkward foods and had locks and was just real laid back and just really quiet. And I said, okay, interesting dude, whatever. But I was interested in the food and was telling him about my journey and what I had to do and things like that. And he was telling me about what he was trying to do with opening up this vegan restaurant. And that's what I started learning about what vegan was, because I didn't know what vegan was. I wasn't looking at vegans. I was just looking at how am I going to reduce my cholesterol. That's it. And, fast forward to the day, I mean, we just grew to have this strong, intimate relationship in terms of talking business. And I was at school getting my master's at that time. So there was a lot going on. And I was also thinking about what was the next thing I was going to get into. Because remember, I was a nightclub promoter. I was doing all this stuff in New York and New Jersey. What was I going to do in Maryland while I was here? And never been in food service, never worked in food service, don't know anything about food service. But I said, I told him, if you're passionate about anything and you put your heart into it, you can accomplish what you set out to do. So I said, let me help you with this. And that's where it all started. I started working on the website, started doing market research. We started working at festivals. And, now we're married 11 years at an award-winning vegan restaurant with a 10-year-old vegan daughter.
And could you imagine, like, when you were in New York and you went down to South Carolina, maybe there, and here you are in Maryland, and now you meet he's in management. You meet your love of your life, got your daughter, got the restaurant. I mean, that's what I love about having a vision, though. Like, you can have a vision and know what you want to do, but sometimes that path goes somewhere else, but it's still within that vision. It may not be the same thing that you were doing, right?
Right, exactly.
I think that's a perfect example of that.
Exactly. And I was still navigating through Maryland. I lived in Owings Mills at that time. He's Baltimorean, born and raised, both sides of the family. And I would have never thought that I would be living in the city of Baltimore. And, like I said, we've been here in the city, opened up the restaurant in the city and live above the city. So it's been an amazing journey, but I get bored very fast. So the restaurant wasn't enough. And that's why I had to come behind it and co-found and co-organize Vegan Soulfest. And then behind that, Vegan Restaurant Week. And then, Keep It Fresh Fest. And then the nonprofit, so it just keeps going and going.
But you're talking about these things, which is what we want to talk about today, how to create a lucrative business like within the vegan industry. And that's what you have done. I mean, you built this restaurant. First of all, I don't know if you all knew this. You had to know something, had to have a clue of where this industry was going.
Absolutely not. I'll let you in on a little secret. My husband when we were doing our projection goals,
Yeah.
my husband mentioned something about, in the annual projection of revenues, it's
Yeah.
$100,000. I said, I'm not leaving my cushy job. It's worth more than that for $100,000. I said, it's either a million plus or I'm not doing it. Like, we're gonna change this around here.
We're going to switch this up.
Yeah.
Who want vegan? Right. We're going to make sure they want it. And so what happened when but that was his passion, but you came in with your marketing background, right? And you were able to see how you could capitalize and leverage from that.
Yeah, you have to go in with, a lot of times businesses open up, and the capitalism and the competitiveness, it's all fun, but I'm in this for love. It's like, okay, how do we all win-win? So we have this playing field of veganism and vegan industry, and we're not even talking about commercial veganism when you're looking at products, the cheeses and things that they sell in the store. We're just talking about simple foods, plant-based, selling vegan food, and how do we make vegan soul food seem appealing to our demographic, which is the African American and the Latino community, and even the Indian community, people of color, all cultural communities. How do we do that? That's all we were setting out to do. How do you have a healthier version? Because we know red meat takes 3 days to digest, 3 to 5 days to digest in your system, and it's not the healthiest thing to consume. So how do we bring this to the market where people will appeal to it? It'll taste good, and it'll also be good for their health. Well, vegan barbecue ribs. And that was the signature dish, and we would sell out at festivals, being the only vegan vendor at the festivals. And we still have those vegan ribs today.
I bet the vegan people were mad at the regular carnivores who they were eating up all the food while they were in line, Like, you don't even eat this. This not even for you. Why are you eating it up?
You had to test it out. You had to, you come out there with some vegan barbecue ribs and some yams and collard greens. You're the only vegan thing out there in the middle of fish and chips and chicken and fried chicken and everything. Like, are you really going to win? Like, well, when you put this newsletter up and say, hey, you might want to stop eating red meat, come sample this, give it a try, then, people will look into it.
Well, also, I appreciate the fact that you keep it healthy, because we know today, just like anything, anytime the powers that be get a hold of something, they're going to capitalize. They want to mass produce it, and it's not always healthy, which we know just because somebody's vegan, a lot of things on the market is not real. It's not when you wouldn't put it in your body. You might as well eat some red meat before you put some of that stuff that they're promoting.
Well, it's a lot of levels to this. So if you think of veganism, plant-based lifestyle, you got your whole food plant-based, and whole food plant-based is basically, things that are coming from the earth. So you got your nuts, seeds, you have your fruits, vegetables, your legumes, your grains, all that great stuff, which we have way more selections than you guys out there eating meat. So really look at it, because on an international level, you can find fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds in all different countries, going all different ways. Meat is just meat. What? How many? You can't even count, on your hand how many different selections you have. But then you don't even know if it's meat anymore anyway.
You can tell she's real vegan and a New Yorker, because you hear that competitive.
And then you have your raw vegans that, they're just going to eat raw. Nothing can be cooked. It has to be that salad. I like a lot of raw foods too, but, I like my cooked greens. I like kale raw or cooked. And then you have your alkaline vegans, where the food has to be out, not acidic. So it's so many different levels to this, and you got to try to have some for everyone. And then you got your gluten-free vegans, you got your soy-free vegans. It's just all type of levels. So you try to have something for everyone, but we're at a state where we have our market. Our market is defined. You either love us or you hate us. And it's great to see so many other options popping up to satisfy those that, we may not have everything that people are looking for. So it's just great to see this boom, this explosion of especially Black vegan restaurants coming on the scene. So it's really a good time right now to be in the market, because plant food is definitely the future.
It is definitely so. Now, I love the fact that you said you got bored. That's, I think that's just entrepreneur in us. Our minds are always spinning. Anytime you see anything, you're always thinking of how can you solve a problem with that. And so now that the restaurant is booming, it's growing, you're feeding and serving the community. Now you thought about this vegan fest? Is that what it is? That was the next phase to this. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, Vegan Soulfest started in 2014. It's a collaboration between me and another sister in the Baltimore area, Brenda Sanders. We were having this meeting about a conference that she was trying to put on, and she wanted Land of Kush to cater it. And then that conversation became, hey, we go to these veg fests, and the veg fests, they're cool and we appreciate them, but we're kind of looking for something that exemplifies us, exemplifies our community, exemplifies culture and celebration, and where our people at these fests. So we decided that we were going to create this fest in the smack dead in the middle of the city of Baltimore, not on the outskirts, but right in the city. And it became Vegan Soulfest. So shout out to Downtown Cultural Arts Center for being the first venue to sponsor and support us in that fest that we thought was going to be this little shindig of 20, 30 vendors. Man, we had close to 90 vendors that first year. We bust out the scenes in the building, and we had to line vendors up around the block on Howard and behind Howard Street. It was an incredible time, and that became the first or the new food festival of Baltimore City, because no one knew what was going on. People were driving by and I was like, what is going on over there? And the Baltimore Sun coined it. The article came out, New Food Festival. So that was it. We had to run with that.
And now, when is it? What month do you actually host it in?
The initial one was in October, like the solstice. We always talk about the solstice, but it evolved into being scheduled in the month of August. So it's been August for the past 6 years, and
Okay.
due to the pandemic, it's been on hiatus or postponement, because it's not a festival that you can do online or
Right.
it's not the same thing. So we weren't going to take it online. So this year we're coming back, and we're heading
Oh,
to South Point, Port Covington, and it's going to be a 3-day event that we are collaborating with local Baltimore-based organization Collectively. And you can find a lot more information about the fest at vegansoulfest.com.
okay. I'm going to create a banner for that. That's vegansoulfest.com.
Yes,
All
and
right.
folks, I just have to say this festival is a fundraiser for all the 3 organizations involved. We've had a hard 2 years. We've always delivered to the community. Lots of things. We appreciate the community coming out to support us in this 3-day event. It is a fundraiser. That is how we're able to bring programming to you in the community. So please, we need your support.
And if someone is out of town and they're not able to attend, are there ways to donate through this as well? Is that on that website? Okay.
Well, actually, there's 3 organizations involved. One of the organizations is blackvegsociety.org. If you want to donate and support this fest, please go to blackvegsociety.org.
That's VEGS?
Yeah,
VEGS?
Black
Okay.
Veg Society.org.
Okay.
And you can
Okay.
support that way, and funds will go into the fest that way. So please, we need your support there, because we do a lot of programming, and Vegan Soulfest is just one of the events and programs that we offer to the community.
Now, what is Black Veg Society? That's your nonprofit? I
Yes,
heard
that
you
is the
mention that. Okay,
nonprofit.
so what
Yeah.
is what? Talk to me about it. You know, there's and we've got several people to chiming in here. I do want to see Pamela. Oh my gosh, Pamela, we were friends since first grade. Thank you so much for tuning in. She says she loves the sound of Vegan Soul Fest there.
Thank
And
you.
then another good friend, Erica Padmore, says she's excited. She wants to reach out to you and collaborate. So we'll definitely share this. And we've got Ina Shed tuning in as well. Hi, Ina. Good to see you. So definitely talk to us about the Black Vegan Society, the Black Veg Society.
Black Veg Society. I mean, it's easy to say vegan, but understand before there was vegan, it was veg. So
Veg.
blackvegsociety.org is
Yes.
the website. And what we do at blackvegsociety.org is we meet people where they are on their journey. So it's a non-judgmental, wherever you are on your journey, where you're trying to explore veganism or plant-based eating, the lifestyle in general, we're going to meet you there. So one, the website offers tons of resources to start you on your journey. If you just want to learn how to eat or the history of Black vegans, we have an eating emblem. Click on that and you'll be introduced to a resource that will educate you in that area. If you want to learn about how plant-based eating affects the earth, there's an earth emblem there. You know, so there's so many different. You want to empower yourself. Like if you don't want, if you want to do this all alone, you don't want anybody talking and lecturing.
Yes.
There's an empowerment emblem that you can connect with. There's so there's so many. And in there, you'll also find my show, NaijhaSpeaks.com, which is the enlightenment emblem, where you can go and journey into interviews that I have done with so many activists and authors and advocates of this lifestyle. So that's what this vegan soul is all about. Everybody has a little vegan soul in them. You know what I'm saying? It's just a level of passion. You know, we've been culturally taught to eat and consume animal products because of the way we were brought up. This is stemming from slavery. Our masters, our ancestors' masters at that time. But we don't really need to be that way. We're all compassionate at a certain level. So it's just we're meeting you where you are there, and we're working with tons of people in this journey. So it's a psychological thing. You have to be ready to be fully vegan and know why you're doing this. So don't do it because it's a trend. Do it because it's something you want to do and you know it's a benefit to the environment, to your health, and to reduce cruelty to animals, and also to address world hunger, because the food that we're eating and consuming, understand those animals have to eat food that could be given to people that's starving. So it's a lot of dimensions to this. But the Black Veg Society helps you in all of those areas. We also put on events. We just had a Keep It Fresh Fest luncheon last Saturday, where we brought people out and you were able to eat Land of Kush food for free and listen to Dr. Ruby, who has been in the game. She's been featured in What the Health and Invisible Vegan, and they're trying to kill us. And she's also cured herself of thyroid cancer. So these are guests that we bring to you that teach you, how to do this. And they're real live stories, and they're Black people. They're our people. They're our color. It's not a white thing. We've been doing this, since the Seventh Day Adventists were around. So don't think it's a new thing. It isn't.
And we were talking about that this morning, my husband and I, and how deception and how things get twisted and turned and upside down, right? And like you said, you just said it's not a white thing. And I know that for my lovely Caucasian brothers and sisters that tune in, what she's saying is, in our community, when we start talking about eating healthy, because I've been on this journey for 30 plus years, although I do a cleanse, I do this full body cleanse and all of that, and I eat raw for a lot of periods of the year. But towards the end of the year, I do have some poultry. I do that, and fish. But I recognize the importance of eating and having that lifestyle. But I've been accused for years and teased by family and all of that. Oh, you eating white, or you eating that,
Yeah, y'all better
You were right. Yeah, like this is where we came from, right?
Let me tell tell you something. Go to
Make it clear.
blackvegsociety.org.
Yeah.
Go to the Veg Guide. Download Tracy McWhirter's African American Vegan Starter Guide, and you're gonna learn some history today. Do that today.
You're gonna learn today.
1915, there was a conference organized
Wow.
by the Seventh-day Adventists, and that's where I'm just gonna leave it right there. You go in and go to that guide, and you're gonna learn something today.
Wow, that's incredible. I can't wait to go to there myself and get the information that you're talking about and share it with some of the people, the family, because it's just still amazing. And I thank God it's all by His grace, all by His mercy that He's given us wisdom to do things right, and we make a choice, through that. And I'm grateful that I haven't had the challenges and the health challenges that a lot of had. And I'm like, don't you see any type of parallel or it's just amazing.
You know what it is? We're like, when I talked about the psychology of this, living this lifestyle, food is social. So once you start changing the way you eat, you start changing the way or the people that are surround you or around you, unless people are really your friends and they're going to support your efforts. Would you laugh at somebody that's working out and trying to lose weight? Why would you do that? If they're trying to better themselves and their well-being, why would you ridicule them? It never, it just confuses me, it baffles me when people do that. If somebody's trying to better yourself, if someone in your family died from diabetes, heart disease, stroke,
exactly,
bypass service,
yes,
why would you laugh at them because they're trying to better themselves through healthy
do something
eating or
different?
Working out. It's because you feel comfortable that maybe that's what you should be doing. See,
exactly.
We have to try love in our community. We need a little bit more love and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and worry about what you're doing. Okay, better yourself and let people better themselves.
Exactly. Well, see, she said it. I'm telling you, you had no idea. Very unassuming from Miss Naijha. She comes with a power-packed purpose, and I know that's the speaker in you, and the passion exudes from you. That this is not, like you said it earlier, you have to be passionate about what you're doing, and this is a mission, that you're on, and we can certainly tell by the way you're speaking and the confidence that you have to let people know that no, it's time out for the foolishness. It really is. I mean, really, it's like it's crazy. It is really crazy to continue to think that dead food and all of the things, these pharmaceutical things and all of that, it's crazy to think that that's going to be better than what God initially created for us. So I appreciate your passion in that. And for those of you who are just tuning in to Wealthy Sisters with a Wealthy Sisters Radio with a View, we are so super excited to have you here today and to join us in this great conversation that we are having today. But before we go back, I do want to just share a little information break with you. I want you to know that Wealthy Sisters, okay, it's all about partnering, right? We are also featured on that's BlackUSA.News, another powerhouse out of Baltimore. I'm telling you, Baltimore.
Yes,
my heart. And that's my brother, Donnie Glover there. He has, and Naijha knows, he has been a true advocate in media for Black people. When I tell you, he started the Black Wall Street years ago. This was like in the early 2000s when I met him, right before we met, I believe, or right along the same time. And this platform, I'm telling you to check it out. A lot of different news shows, informative. Go again to BlackUSA.News, and I'm telling you, you'll learn a lot. Now, again, if you just Donnie Glover, if you're just tuning into our show, today's guest is none other than Naijha. You know, you can tell that she's a speaker and a philanthropist as well, and the restaurateur of the Land of Kush out of Baltimore there. We've been talking about, you know, how this industry has blossomed and all of the things that come, the different dynamics that comes with vegan. We talked about the society that you created, the Black Veg Society.org. Definitely want to make sure people check that out. The VeganSoulFest.com, right? VeganSoulFest.com. And then also you mentioned another part of this, that, you know, to keep your entrepreneurial spirit flowing and creativity blossoming. What else is on your agenda?
Well, you know, after Vegan Soul Fest, I had to explore how to promote and expose other restaurants that were exhibiting vegan cuisine, all types of cuisine, not just vegan restaurants, but veg friendly. Now, someone asked where Land of Kush is located. It's located in Baltimore. We're at 840 North Utah Street, right near Martin Luther King Boulevard. And you can go to Land of Kush, KUSH.com for more information about the restaurant. Maryland Vegan Restaurant Week was birthed. But before it was Maryland Vegan Restaurant Week, it was Baltimore Vegan Restaurant Week. And why did this happen? Well, I was dining at a restaurant where my brother-in-law was having a marketing presentation. And of course, a lot of restaurants, the only option on the menu is like a salad, like it's some creative salad with a lot of other stuff or whatever in it. So in this salad, I just wanted the cheese taken out. I didn't want any feta cheese, anything with cheese in it. I didn't want it. I just wanted the mushrooms or whatever it was that they had in it, and that's it. It was one of those dishes. I love mushrooms. I just didn't want the cheese. And it was this whole big production about, taking that out. I mean, the waiter could have easily said, well, we can't do this, but, maybe here's another option. But this waiter actually went through the whole spiel of saying, you know what, people like you should go around the corner and eat at that restaurant. So I was very offended. One, because you never know who anybody is. That's why we try our best to treat people the best we can in our restaurant. Every day is a different day, but you have to have that in the back of your head. You never know who you're talking to. And I was offended, and then I was there for my brother-in-law's marketing presentation, and I was being discriminated against. So I went out with this whole big attitude, like, there's something has to be done about this. And not that I expect all restaurants to have veg options. No, that's not what I was expecting. But this is just not the way you treat a customer, a paying customer in your restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So I went to this restaurant, Golden West, I hadn't been there in about 5 or 6 years. And the last time I was there, they had like a barbecue tofu dish, which was okay. But me returning to that spot, they had a vegan week menu. Now, mind you, this is not a 100% vegan restaurant. This is a veg-friendly restaurant. And they took a week, and I think it was around Valentine's Day or something like that, around that week. And they laid out this whole menu of vegan options. And I was so impressed that I connected with the owner, and I said, hey, wouldn't it be great to grow this thing outside of your restaurant? Is that something that you want to do? And the owner, Samantha Klassen, was like, I've always wanted to do that. We've been doing it inside our restaurant for 2 or 3 years. I've always wanted to share this concept with others outside of here. And I said, well, let's do it. And we did it in 2017. In conjunction with what was going on with Vegan Soul Fest that month, the summer of 2017, Baltimore Vegan Restaurant Week began. And now it's Maryland Vegan Restaurant Week because we're trying to take it across the state.
Wow, that is amazing. So again, what would you say? I can hear you. As we know, entrepreneurs are always solving problems. We're solutionists, right? So you were offended, but in that offense, he did not know, or he or she, I don't know if the male or female waiter, but they didn't know that they were igniting something in you by going to that restaurant. So that
if you go to MD Vegan Eats, if you go to MD MD short for Maryland,
Okay, let me put this on here for
veganeats.com.
you.
You can see all this stuff that's been going on with that. And we do it twice a year. We do it in the winter. Well, this year was done in March because of the whole Omicron stuff that was going on. So it might be in March. So first quarter March and in summer in August. So we do this twice a year. And it is a fun time for everyone. It's a time to bring your family out, to try new things, vice versa. Whether you're vegan and you want to bring your non-vegan friends out, or you're non-vegan and you want to, get into the whole gist of, hey, with your vegan friends, let's go out and try something. All the participating restaurants try to offer an option or two on their menu, and you get to vote. You get to vote on who did the best job and what was the best dish or dessert or beverage. And it's just a challenge for that time.
Now, that's a MD Vegan Eats with an S?
Yes.
All right. Let me add that banner up here so that everyone can get that information. Now, let me ask you this. Are you all included in that competition? Because I don't know if that's fair.
In the first couple of years we were, but this last one, Land of Kush and Golden West did not include themselves in the competition because we created the whole thing. But the winners this year were Great Sage in Clarksville for their best dish, and Doda's right a couple of blocks away from the Land of Kush over on Charles Street, and Honoree Bakery in Hamden for their desserts. So it was a great time, and it couldn't have been anything better. There were so many great restaurants, so many great dishes and desserts and drinks, but those were the ones that were voted for the best in those categories.
Okay, so we're here talking about creating a lucrative business within the vegan industry. And so you've talked about the restaurant. That was your launching platform. You combined that with the Vegan Soulfest, right? That you have, it's a nice big festival, vegan food and other activities. You have artists and entertainment and all of that. And then you talked about your Black Veg Society, which is your nonprofit that you provide resources and education. And if, like she said, if you don't want anybody preaching to you by yourself, you could go on there and learn by yourself as well. And now you talked about the MD Vegan Eats, well, which is Restaurant Week for vegans, right?
Right.
This is powerful, y'all. And what I want you to kind of touch on here, because we talk about it all the time, the power of networking. A lot of times people are in business for themselves, by themselves, and they feel so competitive. They don't want to collaborate. They don't want to, and this is a theme that we talk about a lot of times that we are kind of shy away from. Right. I was talking to one last week, Twyla Garrett, powerful sister, multimillionaire, has done very well in business, particularly in the government contracting area. And she was on our show last week. And we were talking also about how major corporations, this was my girlfriend, LaFern. Let me give LaFern credit, LaFern Beatty, who's been on the show. We were talking how major corporations will go for government contracts, right? They would go for those contracts, competing against one another. And whoever would get that contract, then they would go and collaborate and bring them on board. So they would list things from that RFP that they had no experience in or did not have it on their team, but they knew that their opposing, company did. So talk to the small business owner to elevate. Don't have just because you're a small category, but don't think small about just sticking to yourself. Speak to them on the importance of collaborating, because now what have you done by partnering with other vegan restaurants? You're not threatened by them, obviously, but what were the advantages outside of you all coming together with this restaurant week? What can you speak on were the advantages of collaborating?
Well, you build a stronger ecosystem and connections. We're a small restaurant here. A lot of people, when they look up Land of Kush, I guess they envision this large, full-service dining experience, and then when they get here, they see this is a small, looks like a mom and pop family-owned shop, and that's what it is. We don't even see more than 20 people in here, but it's the brand and the presence, and I guess the blessings and the delivery we bring, and just the brand, and we share that with everyone. No, we're not threatened. Why? Because everybody doesn't have to like Land of Kush, and I'm not expecting everyone to like Land of Kush. I eat at a lot of places in Baltimore, outside of Baltimore, and surrounding areas, and throughout the state. We're not the only restaurant here. We're not the only vegan restaurant. There are different cuisines. There are different styles. There's different social economic levels. You got fast casual. You got high end. You got, you can't even sit down in there. So it's like, it is just, you have to collaborate. There are some people just starting out. There's some people already tenured. Just take us and Golden West, just looking at the amazing work they do there and learning from how do you run a major establishment like this. We're getting ready to open up on the east side of Baltimore, and it's going to be larger. We're going to have to understand how to do this. We don't know. We're new restaurateurs. So all that competitiveness, competition is great. You're always going to try to strive to do bigger and better things than the next person. But there is nothing wrong with getting together and loving your fellow small business restaurant owner. I invested money in my mama's vegan when they had their Main Best campaign going. That's a Black sister with a vegan restaurant. Why wouldn't I do that? I want Black sisters to excel. I mean, look at Slutty Vegan. I didn't have to invest anything in her, but I promote the heck out of what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And they vended at VeganSoul in 2018, and a year later, now, they're booming. They're doing the damn thing out there. So why not do that? Like,
drive by it all the time, line wrapped around the block.
Yes, hashtag try love opposed to hate. Maybe if you put out some better energy will come back to you. And that's how, and it doesn't have to necessarily come back from that person that you're putting it out to. It always comes back full circle 10 times, 20 times, 100 times folded, so that's just naturally me trying to solve problems. No, I can't solve everybody's problems, and I'm not going to, and I'm not expecting that I'm going to. But if I'm passionate about something, I'm going to try to put my finger on it and see what I could do to make lemonade out of all these lemons.
That's right. Well, it's obvious that you're doing that as well, and being such a great example. Both you and Greg are that example for your daughter. Talk to me about raising a child as an entrepreneur. I know you see it. I know you see it.
Yeah. You know what she did this year? She wanted me to interview her for Mother's Day. So, she sees me on the live, and she's been on the live co-hosting once. She helped me interview. This is when she was a little younger, about 6 years old, interview another Black young activist. But now she's 10, and she really understands and sees what's going on. So she wanted to be interviewed for Mother's Day. And if you want to catch that interview, it's actually at NaijhaSpeaks.com. And we talked about what it means to live in a restaurant. That's all she sees. We live above the restaurant, so that's all she sees. She comes into the restaurant, from whether we're picking up from school, wherever, she sees these people eating, laughing, smiling, talking. We go upstairs, we come downstairs, and it's the same thing. This has been her life since she's been born. There is no backyard right now, so this is what she sees. And she also sees black business owners, because I take her around to the Black businesses, all businesses, but to see Black businesses. Our children need to see that we can have our own, and we can be in business, and we can build our Black Wall Street. So she appreciates her Blackness, her Black Latino-ness, because we're half Puerto Rican too. We got the Latino in us. So she appreciates. She's able to speak to that. She's able to be proud of who she is and her parents and who she's going to become, because she's searching herself on what she wants to do. She's still young. And then she's proven she's vegan from the womb. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't fed cow's milk. She dislocated her elbow and it snapped right back. No broken bones. See, that's a testimony. Thank God.
Yes, thank God.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So the question about whether your child is going to get the nutrition they need through a plant-based diet, my 10-year-old is testimony of that. It worked. She hasn't had any meat or milk since she's been born.
And the immune system. The immune system. I mean, we could spend, that's a whole nother show. I know, and I don't even have to ask that big elephant that's in the room that's going on right now that they're pushing everyone to do.
Yeah.
Does anybody think about the immune system? What is the immune system for? What is it for?
The immune system can fight off and ward off a lot of things. And again, we are holistic. You know, we see traditional doctors and holistic specialists and compare notes. I don't like to band-aid anything. You know, when I say band-aid, we're going to cure the root cause. I want to cure the root cause of what's driving the problem, not put a mask over it. Okay. Yes. And I'll just leave it at that. But people need to make the best decision for them, and you need to do your own research. There's so much information out here, and you know, and you're finding so many different things on social media. You really need to do your research. What brought me through during the pandemic and COVID is a gentleman called Ralph Smart, and he's a vegan. He's also a psychologist, and you can find him at infinitewaters.com. He kept me through this whole pandemic, and just basic down to earth, just logical.
That's it. What is that?
Infinite
he does
water.
That. Infinite waters. Breathe
in. That's what you need to do. Breathe in that good ass prana.
Yeah, I know him on YouTube.
And that's what I'm on. And he's a Pisces like me. That's my sign. I resonate with him 100%. I'm all into that.
That's awesome.
Keeping it real. All you can do is keep it real for yourself. Again, you have to know what your cipher and universe, you know, entails, and how you're going to negotiate this environment and navigate in it. If you got toxic energy around you, if it's always toxic, constantly toxic, and you can't think and it's not clear, guess what? You got to change your circle of influence and your environment, and that's on you to do, nobody else.
Right. That's right. And you know what? It's on you to do. You said it. We are in control of that. We can twist it. We can change it. We don't have to have that. Allow people to even pull us out of our happy zone or whatever you want to call it, right? People, again, they tease about that. They joke about that. But you got to realize it's something to it.
Right.
It's something to it.
We're out here matching everything and matching energy. People want to match negative energy and do all this other stuff. Look, match some positive energy too. How about that?
And women, I have missed out because, you know, I have to force myself to look at some things. I do not watch the news, period. I hardly watch any television. So what is this you saying? Match? That's a new thing. Match this. Match that energy.
Okay. Negative energy, conflict, and all this other stuff, and they want to be big and bad, matching this other. Like, how about matching some positive stuff? You know, so we can grow. You know, as a community, as collectively, because we still behind. You know what I'm saying? We still don't lost a lot of land. We got a long way to go to catch up. So I think we need to match the energy and get together and do some positive stuff so we can grow and build this Black Wall Street and this economic network and stop fooling around, to be honest.
Exactly. And I mean, that's a perfect segue into what we are all about here at Wealthy Sisters. Get your copy today of Wealthy Sisters, Powerful Personal Stories Proving You Can Do It Too. Available on Amazon. Wealthy sisters proving that you can do it too. 13 powerful stories, just like my sister here, who are talking about how you can have a vision and how you can create that vision. Of course, we know everything is through God's help and driving and support, but he gives us that wisdom, that thought. He puts it all in us. And these stories here, when I talk to you about several of them, I mean, we even have Madam C.J. Walker's great granddaughter. Yes, Alelia Bundles. You remember meeting her at the conference. Yes.
Nice,
you want to find your copy on Amazon. It's a perfect gift. Wealthy Sisters, powerful personal stories proving you can do it too. And it's also at our website, wealthysisters.com as well. But yes, back to our guests. The time is going by so fast. Like I said, it goes. Please, you got to come back, sister. You have to come back.
Absolutely. And I got to bring you on Naijha Speaks, and interview
I'm there.
you in your journey, because the conferences, and I remember the boat conference. There's so many different conferences that you had that I enjoyed, and just bringing the people together. And we need that. We need that. I was talking to someone yesterday. I'm part of this Black Butterfly cohort. Here in Baltimore, where Black businesses are getting together to change the ecosystem in a positive way, and through collaboration and nurturing. And that's what you were doing. And we need that. People need to stop all of this. Like, I gotta be busy all day and just do all this. And they need to come out, get some air, and do some of that. So do some of that networking, so that you can learn something else. Because if you get uncomfortable with someone trying to teach you something new, then you're gonna have a hard life. Okay, sometimes you gotta listen to different perspectives and see how that's gonna impact your life. You don't gotta take in and apply everything, but you're not gonna know anything more if you don't go out there and get a breath of fresh air.
That's right. And I want everybody to be able to see your website. So let me share the screen here. We want you to go to landofkush.com so that you can see all those delicious, oh man. Let me hurry up and show this right here so they can see this as well. But
we've had Stevie Wonder there. We've served Stevie Wonder and Angela Davis.
Yeah, I saw that. Let me go to the homepage, and I saw that your wall of fame. Okay, so you guys, so they can enroll today and get the $5 there. But look at that. Ooh, doesn't that look good? You can. Are those the ribs there?
That's the award-winning crab cake. So
that's the crab cake. Oh, yes, award-winning. Look at this beautiful. Oh, that kale salad looks delicious.
And we got smoothies in here, y'all.
Smoothies in there.
Smoothies, they ain't gonna hurt you. Leave the milkshake, the cow's milkshake. Get some smoothies in your life.
Black-eyed pea fritters. I don't think I've had that.
Gluten-free, yeah, because we have to build our gluten-free menu, because there's a lot of folks that are soy-free, gluten-free. Yeah. So we're building that menu for gluten-free items.
Yes, and let's pop over here to this wall of fame here. We saw Stevie Wonder, and I know I should know him. Who is that? Man?
That's comedian.
That's okay.
Country Wayne.
okay, that's right. Okay, and then this gentleman here
from Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, see Ray Lewis there, and she's an actress, right?
Singer.
No, that's the singer.
Yeah,
TLC.
From the
Girl, I should know that.
And then we have the weight champions, the fighters.
All right, look at that.
Charles Dutton from Baltimore.
Charles Dutton, yes. And so many more.
Yeah, so many more. You come in, we got an updated wall of fame. So yeah, we'd love to have you. Again, we're small, but we're mighty. When you come in, this is a family type establishment. You know what I'm saying? Come as you are. Absolutely.
Well, 3 words that you would leave with our guests today. What would that be?
Oh, good. Okay. 3 words. Do you and do we. I had to make it 4 words. Do you and do we. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Well, you heard it right from Naijha, my sister, my friend. congratulations to you and Gregory for all your accomplishments. May God continue to bless you, to continue to bless the people that you're serving, and most definitely continue it on with your daughter. I know you're doing that succession planning with her, that this is the empire that you all have built, to be there for her and her children as well. Because, I mean, you're a legacy builder.
Yeah, she's never going to really know how it was to grow up being, like me. She's been back to the Bronx. My mother still lives in the Bronx. And, she's not going to have to worry about that lifestyle. It's the last of the Mohegans.
And you brought it up when you said you all live above. I remember you all doing that. I remember when you got the building and what your plan was. I remember that.
We had to, because we first
Yes.
on tours. You don't want to come to a restaurant and you're hours away, and then you come and it's all in disarray. So we've gone through some stuff living here, but at least we were here and able to be open when we're supposed to be open. So blessings to that.
That's awesome. And I love what Ina said, love, peace, and eat.
Yeah. Thank you, Ina. I can use that. Love, peace, and eat.
Those are her 3 words. Perfect 3 words. Well, again, thank you, sister, for tuning in. All of the audience, if you're catching us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, we appreciate you. We adore you. And we want to ask you right now, go and subscribe, especially right there on YouTube. We need you to help us out. Send a message to your friends. If you see the value in the content that we're providing, please subscribe. Subscribe and share, promote, like. That will help us continue to bring the great content that we're bringing to you today. And speaking of great content, next week's show. I tell you, I am rich. I am rich. I am wealthy. I am wealthy because I have great people around me, and none other than our super guest today. But next week, Lady Patterson, who is a serial entrepreneur. She and her husband own this beautiful spa. They do the facials. They were doing all of that before it was popular. She has her own skincare line. She's coming out with her own, y'all get ready for this, her own line of sanitary napkins, and they are going to be all natural. All natural. Yes, I mean, everything is in place, just waiting on a few more things. And I mean, I'm telling you, so I'm excited to have Lady Patterson on with us next week. So again, we appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Spread the word. Don't keep it to yourself. Please subscribe. We need you. We need you. We need you. And with all that said, we wish you and yours the best of everything great. See you next week, God willing.
This has been another episode of Wealthy Sistas Radio. Thank you for joining us. Catch the full hour encore Thursdays 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern and 24/7 at wealthysistasradio.com. The opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosts, staff, or partners of Wealthy Sistas Radio.